clean up Daniel's entire board most of the time. There's a Llanowar Elf on 1.
Yep.
And this looks like it's just going to be...
It's at the crossroads right there, so...
No second land is awkward.
Oh, that's really tough.
Because ideally this turn he'd be able to go second land, second 1 mana elf, tap for 3 mana, start playing out the rest of my hand, but now he's a turn behind basically.
It's also awkward. I know he has the Crater Hoof already in the hand too.
He's just going to put that on 1 now.
That's perfect.
So Tom drew his other basically hate card for this matchup in Walking Ballista.
Hopefully he gets a land.
Yep, okay. So if he has another 1 mana elf, he's alright here. No, he doesn't. So he's just kind of stalling out again this turn. Next turn he'll have 5 mana to work with, and he can play out most of his hand, but...
It's really good for Tom right there with that Vigor. What's the other one? I know we have the Crossroads, 2 Stirrings. Ballista, is that a Pact? The other one? Or is that no, that's a Titan.
Yeah, it is. So... It's awkward because he wants to hold up his explosives activation here. Alright, 1 mana. I guess he's going to do it this turn.
Yeah. Which is actually, I think, is the right move right now, especially knowing that he's pretty much... He was stalled for a turn.
Especially with Ballista in hand, it seems pretty reasonable.
Okay, so he just drew a Mystic. So he has a Crater Hoof, an Elvish clan. Nothing too fast, really, though. But Tom's hurting for mana, it looks like, right now.
Yeah, he had to blow up his own amulet to do that, which is a little frustrating for him. I still think it was probably correct, given like his hand. He has 2 Stirrings to dig to a second amulet if he needs to. That's probably what he's doing here.
She's a white floating. And look at the top 5 for colorless. Sure, another land.
Yeah, usually this deck can't survive just playing a slow game of playing a bunch of bounce lands and not having any kind of enablers, but against a start this bad, it's able to afford to.
And we've seen Daniel last week just go off super quick. So this is just a super slow start, so I think Tom at this point just feels like, alright, he's not putting any real pressure on me right now, I can stall. He's doing what he can, he's just getting everything settled.
Yeah, if I'm Tom right now, I might even just consider Ballista on 2 to just kill the Druid.
I think that's the best play at the moment.
Just continue making land drops. Because you can go...
Yeah, so he pulled that to the front, so he might be thinking about that now.
But, yeah, I mean, you can do that and then just... Okay, I didn't realize he had an untapped land. So you can Stirrings first, see if you can find anything better to do.
I think at this point, he's looking for what, a Vigor? He's looking for an Amulet at this point?
Yeah, Amulet.
Because he can still obviously play the Walking Ballista.
Something like a Zeus would be nice too, but yeah.
But with Ancient Stirrings, he can only get colorless.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's something he can find off of Stirrings.
So I think at the point off the Stirrings that he was looking for that, the Zuza would be really amazing right now.
He probably wants to...
See, I think...
I don't like letting him untap with the
I think
Druid.
what he should have done is he played it for the 2. I think I would have killed that Druid right away.
I don't think it's going to matter because he still doesn't have the 1 mana elf that lets you tap 3 elves to make 3 mana.
He doesn't have the Heritage.
Yeah, he doesn't have that in play right now. See, now he's doing this after the fact. Like, if you're not gonna commit to doing it,
Yeah.
if you're not gonna commit to doing it on your turn, then I don't know. Doing it at this point seems like a waste. Tom's also put himself in an awkward spot now where all of his lands are tap lands, and he has a Titan in hand. And he played that basic forest last turn. If he had played a different tap land last turn, and then played the forest on his upcoming turn, he'd be able to play the Titan, but now he's kind of stuck with nothing to do on his turn.
Yeah, I think he was trying to hopefully get that Amulet, which I don't even think it mattered that turn.
No.
I think, well, here goes Daniel with the Nettle Sentinel. He just needs a Druid, which he got, didn't he?
Yeah, he should just concede no.
Yeah. I think the best thing is for Tom just to scoop it up and not show him more. Hopefully your opponent's not 100% paying attention to what you're playing. But you already did show an Amulet.
Yeah, like, there are definitely some things he could have done to win this game here. Just killing off the Archdruid on his turn would have meant that there's basically no way he could have possibly died here.
Yeah.
He still would have had to sequence his lands the other way around, I think, because he then would have had to like have something to play once it got back around to his turn. But like potentially, if that Archdruid was dead, Daniel could have been stuck for 2 to 3 more turns without anything to do.
I agree. I think you played the Ballista for 2. I think you had to pull the trigger with the Ballista. I just don't know. I know he did, but I think he didn't realize when he had to pull the trigger, and that was the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7 mana, untap all these. Uh, 10 mana. I don't know that he has to. Well, yeah, I guess he has to have enough untapped creatures, right?
Yep.
Yeah, spread out. Alright, I'm gonna go get this.
What's in his hand? Is he now just blanking, or he still has enough to...
He should be fine. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah, so looking at game 2, I honestly think Tom is going to have to bring in... Let's see, so he's an Emrakul. I think the engineers are going to still probably come in.
Yeah, 2 engineered explosives are good. Not a whole lot else. Path maybe.
Yeah.
Path is fine. Elves is not really an aggro deck. It's more of a combo deck, especially at this configuration. So I don't think bringing in like general aggro answers like Wormcoil Engine and Obstinate Baloth make a ton of sense. I think instead you just want to be focusing on trying to either disrupt the combo or just win faster than him. So probably just the explosives from his side.
Yeah, just the explosives, especially because
There's 3.
I think no matter what, the engineers have to come in just because I know he's running the Karn package with the Lattice. But regardless, I think he needs those engineered sooner than waiting for Karn.
Yeah, you also got to think maybe he only boards in 1 so that he can wish for the other one at the board. That's probably how that's supposed to work. I'm still kind of adjusting to the fact that there are all these Karn decks running around and their sideboarding is really weird.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the correct answers are for...
It's funny because I was just giving Anthony issues all day because his sideboard is a bunch of one-ofs, and I was like, I hate looking at one-of decks. And I sat there sleeving up one of my decks, and I'm like, well, I'm playing Eldrazi Chime, and what's in my sideboard? One of. I'm like, well, I guess I can't talk.
Yeah.
On Daniel's side, I automatically think he's going to bring in the Sage, and then he's going to bring in the Spheres. Other than that, I can't see maybe Pinthy Needle to name Karn, but he didn't get that far, and so hopefully he knows enough about Modern where he knows that Amulet Titan's playing the Karns now.
Yeah, I think if you've been playing the format since War of the Spark came out, you should know that.
Well, I've joked with Daniel before because Daniel doesn't play super competitive modern. He's mainly an EDH person,
Okay.
like heavy invested like EDH. But it looks like he's really like he's changed his sideboard. Like first thing I did when he walked in, he saw me. He's like, I changed my sideboard. And I was like, cool. I didn't know what to say at first, and he's like, no, look it. So he did tell me what he took out. He did put Weather the Storm in, which doesn't do anything here. He put in a Thorn of the God's Pharaoh, which that's really not in this matchup, but he's excited about it. He's really having fun playing Elves, and I don't blame him. 5-0 with Elves last week. It's pretty good.
Yeah. He definitely could also consider bringing in. I don't know that he needs to because I think he's definitely the faster deck here. But if he wants to assume he's going to get disrupted in some way, he could think about bringing in things like Damping Sphere. Shuts off all of the bounce lands on Tom's side.
Yeah, I think that's automatically going to have to come in for him. I think no matter what, I think that's going to be part of his package that he's got to do to slow down Tom.
Also, Reclamation Sage to get
Yeah.
rid of Amulet. Yeah, he has the turn 1 Amulet this turn, and he has a bunch of bounce lands to follow it up. So he has a pretty reasonable start.
That's not the best one drop though, Daniel. Heritage Druid on turn 1.
Yeah, you don't like. Ideally, you play that starting on turn 2 after playing a Mana Dork turn 1, and then you go off from there.
Once again, that's not a solid start hand for Amulet Titan. That's a lot of lands in his hand. I know the deck plays a lot, but
Well, he's got 3 mana this turn. I don't know that he has anything to use it on, but
he has Transmute. I don't know if he wants to throw Transmute out there for some reason.
he doesn't have double blue, so he can't do that.
So yeah, my fault. I didn't see.
You guys push that box out.
He can play Ballista for 1 and just kill the Druid.
Which,
Sure.
yeah, perfect.
Yep, that'll Sentinel. That's not a great play to an empty
Nope.
board. And he draws a path. This is not something you want to path, so I think he just lets it go. He has 4 mana to work with. That probably means Karn's coming down this turn. Yep. He's got to be careful here. This is awkward because he can minus to get Mycosynth if he wants to. But he can't play it next turn because he just bounced his bounce land, so...
I think, honestly, the better play right now, if he didn't bring in all the EEs, I think would be grab an EE.
Yeah, he's looking at Wormclaw right now.
Which,
That's like the same problem as Mycosynth.
Yeah.
You're way off from being able to actually play that. And also, if Daniel has a Lord effect, he just kills Karn.
yeah.
Yeah, like that.
So I think even if he didn't, if he wanted to play the Karn that turn, it might have been just smarter just to uptick the Karn.
Yeah, now he's in a pretty rough spot here. Because he has no white mana to get rid of that Archdruid.
Yeah.
His only white mana is a bounce land, which is pretty bad to be playing here because you're just going neutral on mana for no reason. And he has nothing else going on in his hand other than a Wormclaw engine that he's at least 2 turns off from playing. Yeah, so he's going to play his bounce land here and just go neutral on mana just so he can path the Archdruid, which is a little awkward.
Yeah, I see where he's coming from with that. I don't think that's the best play. I think at this point you have to play one of your regular lands just to catch up because you're way far
I think
behind
he's
now.
probably really worried about dying next turn, but I don't know that you can afford to be when Daniel's got such like a non-threatening board like that.
Yeah, and the issue with Amulet that I've always hated is they have no way really to look at the opponent's hand. Because if he's seeing what we see, like, sure, he just tapped 3 for the lead the Stampede. Is he going to get all 5? No, just 2 or 3.
Yeah, just 3. That's still very good,
But even so, like, he's really not progressing his board enough where he's putting that much threat on you.
Yep.
So, like, right there, he's pretty much got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 3 elves, but none of them do anything on their
Yeah,
own.
so like even Daniel what he could have done is he could have attacked and then played the elf where the Nettle Summon would have untapped, but it really doesn't matter. But Tom's he's digging himself far in a hole.
Yep. Yep, you just got to make land drops and pass now.
Like even that hurts because if he still had his Simic Growth Chamber out, then he could have transmuted for whatever he was looking for. But I think what's even more weird is I don't know if I saw it in his hand right now.
He's still just got Worm Coil plus a bunch of lands. Yeah, I mean, he's all, like, Daniel's all set up here, except he has no mana producer.
Yeah. So it's not doing enough for him right now. Like, yeah, he has, 6 lands, which, yeah, it's cool, but he needs a Druid. But he's got a Reclamation Sage in his hand, too.
There's an Azusa in Tom's hand.
Yep.
He can play that out. It's like several turns too late at this point, but he can play it out and like develop his mana a little bit. It's still not a good spot for him at all. I think he's definitely not evaluated the matchup correctly to like wishing for Warm Coil is a pretty good indication that he doesn't recognize his role here.
Mm-hmm.
Worm Coil doesn't really meaningfully disrupt this deck at all.
Well, that's something that I like, because I've said it before. Amulet Titan is not the easiest deck to pilot. It's very hard, and I honestly think, and that's what I was mentioning to Daniel, he went 5-0 last week with Elves. Nobody really sees Elf that much in the meta right now. So a lot of players are seeing these random decks they're not, yes, it's a tier deck, but it's not tier 1, it's like 1.5 or a little bit.
Yeah.
So when they're seeing these decks, they're like, okay, I know how to beat this, but then they see it, the first game, he saw Daniel just overloaded the board, and he was like, okay, sure, like, I don't know what to do. And we've seen that he doesn't know how to read the matchup 100% due to him grabbing that Worm Coil.
How did he have enough mana for that? That cost 6. Am I missing something? Or did he just? Oh, he just played. He just played and bounced his own land 3 times.
Yeah. He did Simic 3 times, basically. Well, this is where Daniel can just go off now.
Yep. This is basically the exact same position as last game. It's completely over. It should be deterministic at this point. I don't think there's any way he fizzles here, unless there are like 15 lands in the top 15 cards of his deck. Surprised he's running Visionary. I don't know. Like, I don't see what other elves you put in that spot.
In Elves, Visionary, so we found out last week, Daniel's playing the combo version of Elves compared to the other guy that he travels with. I think his name is Nick or Alex. He plays a little bit more grindier Elves that doesn't worry about the combo as much. But you want Visionary because you're getting a draw off of it. Yeah, you're spending 2 mana for it, but you're getting a draw. And he plays the Clan Caller too.
Yeah, the 4 mana elf, I forget its name. That one's not actually super common in elves.
The one that was just printed recently?
Yeah.
The Beast Whisperers or something like that?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, that one's not actually super common. That's like specific to this combo deck.
Because, and we've seen it last week, and we've seen it now, it helps. He's casting it, and he's casting a creature, he's drawn. But it's hard to beat when you have 2 Nettle Sentinels out.
Yeah, and like if Wormcoil Engine was a number of other cards right now, Tom would still be in this game.
Yeah.
But I think getting Wormcoil there definitely shows that he doesn't quite have a grasp of what he's doing in this. He casted Lead the Stampede couple turns ago.
Yep.
Uh,
He doesn't run the collected company version. He prefers to lead the Stampede due to just getting faster combo.
yeah. The other version of Elves that isn't all in on this combo has collected company over the Beast Whisperers basically.
Yep.
As its card advantage engine.
Yeah, at this point, Daniel's just playing with his food.
I mean, he probably, I'd assume, still has to draw to his Greater Hoof.
I thought he had one from opening hand.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if he does, then.
And that's why I was saying, because I swore I saw it, and that's why I was just like, it's not the greatest of a draw. So let's see when he's going to shuffle. Yeah, it's right there. It's like
Okay.
one of the second to third cards from the very back. I know he's probably just trying to figure out how many exactly he has to put into it because he's got to trample all of it over.
Yeah, and it's a little awkward with the Warm Claw gaining 6 life, so.
But which is fine because even if you don't trample over enough.
It's not like Tom's coming back from this anyway. Yeah.
So that was quick.
It'll be a pretty quick 2-0 for Elves here.
Do you want me to see if I can get a backup match or?
Um,